distinguished guests, excellencies, esteemed colleagues, partners, they are all participants. It's a pleasure to be here today to discuss a topic that is not only of interest of the transport community, all of us gathering here, but it is also a critical international development agenda. As we gather under the theme, Future-Proofing Roads for Asia and Beyond, we recognize the vital role that the roads play, connecting communities, facilitating trade, driving economic and social development. Access to high-quality, low-carbon, and inclusive transportation is essential to create and maintain human capital development, reduce inequality, and create new economic opportunities. However, we should also acknowledge the urgent need to rethink and to redesign our road infrastructure to address emerging global challenges, such as the increasing impacts of the climate change. In my speech, I will briefly start with the importance of decarbonizing transport sector. I will then briefly discuss some solutions on sustainable and green road infrastructure development and what are some strategies that we can support jointly. Finally, I will share some of the related works that we do at the World Bank. Let me start with a few points on why it is important to focus on decarbonizing transport sector. Transportation is one of the largest sources of the GHG emissions globally. Domestic and international transport already contribute to about 20% of global GHG emissions. Some estimates show that some transport emissions could make up to 60% of global emissions by 2050 without any rapid actions that we can take now. East Asia has the largest share of transport emissions among the world's regions, accounting for about 37% of total global transport emissions. Besides, transportation emissions in East Asia have been growing at a rate of 3% over the past 20 years, and there is no sign of significant reduction, except during the COVID period owing to travel restrictions. In comparison, in the other two largest emitting regions over the same period, emissions from transportation have been steadily declining at a rate of 1% a year in North America and remain stagnated in Central Asia. Growing urbanization, rapid industrialization, increasing vehicle ownership place immense pressure on transport systems. These challenges make it imperative to adopt sustainable green approaches to road infrastructure development that would address current demands, but also future anticipated risks. As we gather today to discuss green and resilient roads, we should recognize that road infrastructure should serve today's needs without compromising future generations' ability to meet their own needs. Green roads are designed with the environment in mind, enhancing water and land management, preserving biodiversity, and promoting resilience against climate change. It is about integrating sustainability into every aspect of road infrastructure development, from planning to design to construction, maintenance, and decommissioning. So what does it take to build green and sustainable roads? Let me outline here some few ideas and strategies. First, promoting low-carbon solutions. The green transport agenda can be pushed forward using the holistic avoid, shift, and improve approach in our cities to shift more passengers to public transport and mass transit and promote non-motorized transport and walkability in our cities. It also entails improving the infrastructure through sustainable engineering solutions, such as introducing low-carbon road specifications, using energy-efficient lighting along roads and tunnels, planting roadside trees to sequester emissions, and enhancing recycling materials in road construction. There are opportunities to encourage the use of more energy-efficient vehicles and promote the adoption of electric vehicles. There is also tremendous potential to decarbonize freight and logistics sectors through multimodal integration and application of smart logistics solutions. Second, biodiversity and ecosystem services. Roads should be designed to mitigate their impact on natural habitats and biodiversity. Some examples include creating wildlife corridors, implementing erosion control measures, avoiding light and noise pollutions, using native vegetation in landscaping, promoting nature-based solutions, protecting sensitive areas, establishing wildlife migration corridors. These are just some of the examples. Third, incorporating climate resilience. Roads must be designed to withstand the increasing frequency and intensity of extreme weather events, including using climate resilient materials, implementing flood management system, enhancing drainage infrastructure, using deep-rooted vegetation to stabilize slopes, preventing road-safe surface water concentration, implementing erosion control and water protection, just listing some of the examples here. Fourth, social inclusivity and community engagement. Roads must serve all segments of society, including the most vulnerable groups. This requires meaningful engagement with local community, ensuring access for all groups of society, including for pedestrians, cyclists, and integrating road safety measures. Fifth, mobilizing private capital. Building resilient, green, and inclusive infrastructure requires substantial financing, which is beyond the public sector capacity to tackle alone. For example, some estimates indicate that the ASEAN countries will need over $130 billion in investment in transport infrastructure by 2030. Therefore, private capital mobilization is one of the prerequisites to meet the increasing demand for sustainable infrastructure. Successful partnership with the private sector can deliver technological and industry innovation, improve delivery of services, and access the potentially larger source of financing. Investing in green transport infrastructure is not just economic imperative, environmental imperative, but it is also important economic one. A new World Bank-led analytical series called the Country Climate Development Reports, or CCDRs, completed for over 40 countries in the last 3 years, demonstrate that low-emission development can foster similar or faster economic growth and poverty reduction. This requires supportive policies, management of negative impacts, and a strong financial and technical focus driven by political will. Green transport investments create jobs, reduce long-term costs, and enhance the resilience of supply chain against climate disruptions. Let me highlight some of these benefits here. Job creation. Green road projects create jobs in construction, maintenance, and related industries. These jobs are often in sectors that require specialized skills, which can lead to long-term employment opportunities and capacity building in the countries. Life cycle cost savings. Green transport infrastructure are designed to be more durable and resilient, which can lead to significant long-term cost savings. For example, roads built to withstand extreme weather events require less frequent repairs and maintenance, reducing overall cost. Improved public health and quality of life. Green transport solutions improve air quality by reducing vehicle emissions and construction activities. They also promote active transportation infrastructure, such as walkability and cycling, encourage healthier lifestyles. Furthermore, such investment can enhance the aesthetics of urban and rural environment, making them more attractive and livable for residents. Attracting green finance and innovation. These investments have the potential to attract green financing from international financial institutions, development banks, private investors, and sponsors. These funds are often tied to sustainability metrics, incentivizing the adoption of green practices in road construction and maintenance. This trend also encourages innovation and adoption of best practices, with countries increasingly specifying emission reduction targets and measures for the transport sector in their NDCs. Actions are needed to systematically program a pipeline of low-carbon transport projects and work with the markets to recognize them as eligible offset projects which can generate tradable carbon credits. Let me share also some of the related works that we do at the World Bank. The World Bank has been promoting green and sustainable infrastructure development worldwide. Our approach to road infrastructure is grounded in our mission of creating a world free of poverty on a livable planet. We support countries in Asia and beyond through financing, technical assistance, and knowledge sharing to ensure that road projects are economically viable, environmentally sustainable, and socially inclusive. Last fiscal year, the World Bank approved financing for over 30 new transport investments globally, totaling over $5 billion US dollars and generating 53% of climate co-benefits. Let me share with you some real-world examples of green and sustainable transport projects that have been implemented in Asia and beyond, where the World Bank also contributed, and highlighting some of the lessons learned. India's Green National Highways Corridor project aimed to create green corridor along the country's highways. The project consists of over 8,000 kilometers of highways upgrading and maintenance across the country, incorporating green technologies and demonstrating resource efficiency, climate resilience, and green and safety aspects, enhancing biodiversity and promoting sustainable materials and practices in highway construction. This initiative has shown the potential of green roads to contribute to environmental sustainability while also improving the quality of life for local communities. Vietnam's climate resilient road projects. In Vietnam, several road projects have been implemented with the focus on climate resilience, and the World Bank has been also actively supporting this initiative of the government. For example, the Mekong Delta Transport Infrastructure Development Project has incorporated climate resilience assessment into the design and construction of roads to ensure they are resilient to flooding and landslides. The project also includes measures to protect local communities from climate-related impacts, such as the construction of elevated roads and the reinforcement of embankments. Senegal's Bus Rapid Transit. A new BRT system in Dakar includes dedicated bus-only lanes, fixed routes and stops, predictable timetables, and a comfortable, safe ride for the population. It also reduces air pollution and greenhouse gas emissions by encouraging a modal shift from private vehicles to public transportation. The system is set to operate a robust fleet of 144 articulated electric buses, spearheading its transformative change towards zero-emission urban transport for African cities. It is estimated that there will be a 1.2 million ton reduction of GHG emissions over the 30 years period, which is roughly the equivalent of getting 260,000 cars off the road. These cases illustrate the potential of green and resilient transport investments to achieve multiple objectives, including environmental sustainability, climate resilience, and social inclusion. They also highlight the importance of collaborating between the governments, private sector, and all stakeholders together in successful implementation of green and sustainable transport projects. I would like to conclude with a call to action and highlight a few proposals. As we look to the future, we must embrace the challenge of the transport sector, including building green roads with urgency and determination. Governments, private sector, and international organizations must collaborate to create sustainable road infrastructure that meets the needs of our growing population while protecting the planet for future generations. Such decisive actions can be taken in the following ways. Integrate sustainability into national and regional road policies. Governments must prioritize integrating sustainability principles into road infrastructure policies and planning process. This includes setting clear standards for environmental and social impact assessments, promoting the use of sustainable materials and engineering solutions, incorporating climate resilience into road design and construction. Invest in research and innovation. We must continue to invest in research and innovation to develop new technologies and practices to make road infrastructure more sustainable. This includes exploring alternative and sustainable materials and developing new methods for reducing the carbon footprint of road construction. Foster collaboration and knowledge sharing. Building green roads require collaboration across sectors and borders. And today's event is an excellent example for such collaboration and knowledge sharing. And we stand ready to facilitate and work with the governments closely in this process by providing technical assistance, sharing best practices, supporting development of regional and global networks for green infrastructure. Mobilize financial resources. Financing is critical to success of green investments. Governments and development partners should work together to mobilize financial resources, including green bonds, climate funds, and public-private partnerships. By aligning economic incentives with sustainability goals, we can ensure that green road projects receive the support they need to succeed. Engage local communities. It is essential to involve local communities in planning, design, and implementation of green projects. By engaging with communities, we can ensure that road infrastructure meets their needs, respects local environments, and contributes to social inclusion and equity. It is essential to prioritize sustainability in every road project, share knowledge and best practices, and innovate to make green roads the norm rather than exception. In closing, let me remind all of us that the roads we build today will shape the future of our societies. Let us build roads that lead to a green, sustainable, inclusive, and resilient future for Asia and beyond. Thank you very much.